the beginning, Jesus created the heavens and the earth. In the beginning, he was with God and was God. In the beginning, Jesus was the Word. And it is this Word who made men that men wrote about in words. For when women and men encountered him, giving them bread in the wilderness, or shepherding them through brokenness, or bringing light into a world of darkness, they would write of this Word using words, which forms what we know in the present as the Old Testament. And the one word they would write again and again was the word's name, which was I am. And this word, this I am, would be encountered afresh, not as an invisible word, but in visible flesh. So people began again combining paper and pen to tell the story of this word named Jesus they had come upon. And one of those people was a man named John. John says he wrote these things so that you might believe that Jesus is the Word of God from eternity past, and that this eternal God has come to dwell with us at last. But that is a lot to believe. And for many, it just crosses too many lines, which is why John records Jesus saying, "If you don't believe me, at least believe the signs." For these signs are the things Jesus did, which pointed to who he is. Some of them were miraculous, like what Jesus did at a wedding that had run out of wine, or what happened at his friend Lazarus's grave plot site. But miracles are not his only signs. He also did symbolic works, like what happened with the merchants at the temple who sell and buy, or what he said to a woman at a well who was tired and dry. And through all of it, whether miraculous works or symbolic guides, what these signs point to is what Jesus is heard teaching in nearly every one of John's lines. It's that he is divine. He is the very same God seen throughout the Old Testament. All of Jesus' signs, every one of them, points to the fact that he is God who was called I Am. Which is why Jesus says I am all throughout John's account. He says, I am the bread of life that fed God's people in the wilderness. He says, I am the shepherd that led you through your brokenness. He says, I am the light that first shone into darkness. He says all of this. I am the resurrection. I am the vine. I am the way, the truth, the life. And he does this to show that he is God, the Word, who was before the beginning of time, which is a lot to believe. And it's why Jesus said, if you don't believe me, at least believe the signs. For these signs not only pointed back to prove who Jesus is, they also pointed forward to prepare us for what he ultimately did. And whether that sign was the water he turned into wine at a wedding that pointed to the blood he would be shedding, so that he may provide for his bride, the church, a marriage that is never ending. Whether the sign was raising Lazarus from the dead that pointed to what he would do from his own deathbed to earn for all who believe in him a final resurrection. Whether the sign was turning over tables in the temple to show that his sacrificial death would fulfill that of which animals were only a symbol. Whether the sign was offering eternal water to an outcasted Samaritan to show that he would be struck to provide living streams of life for every nation. Whatever the sign may be, the message it would tell is that this Jesus, who is God the I Am, was going to accomplish his plans through death and burial. That is what the signs pointed to. On the cross is where their meaning was unfurled, that the I Am would be the Lamb who dies to take away the sin of the world. But Jesus would perform a final sign that would prove he is the I Am, the Word, who in the beginning spoke and the universe was made. And that sign is that Jesus rose from the grave. That is why John wrote his book, to give us the signs that point to who Jesus was, what Jesus did, how Jesus died and rose to life. And now, John's gospel comes to each of us and asks the same thing. To please look at these pages, see the signs of Jesus, and believe. Thank you for watching our introduction to the book of John. We are Spoken Gospel, and we are a nonprofit dedicated to speaking the gospel out of every single corner of Scripture. We're making video introductions to every book of the Bible, showing that book's main theme and how that theme is fulfilled in Jesus and his gospel. And we're able to make these videos along with our video devotionals and our podcasts, all because of the generous support of people like you. We give all of our resources away for free because we have a group of monthly and one-time donors that help make all this a reality. So if you want to be a part of that group or view the rest of our free resources, we invite you to go over to spokengospel.com.